Forest now, so I think it's our turn. So I think we should talk about Douglas Luiz.
I mean, yeah, Nottingham Forest, the transfer window is now currently open. Nottingham Forest are looking to strengthen that midfield. I mean, Douglas Luiz, Brazilian. We already have a bit of Brazilian about us. We've got Murillo, we've got Morato. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he come over? I mean, he's good friends with Edu, our new sporting director, so I'd take him. And obviously, if you compare him to our midfielders at the moment, I mean, obviously, we're missing Danilo and Sangare, but I mean, Elliot Anderson and Nicholas Dominguez, they're being brilliant at the moment. However, Douglas Luiz does offer that different thing to him. I mean, last season, you look at him for Villa, he had 20 goal contributions. I mean, that can't be overstated in the Premier League. He was a great player for Aston Villa getting him the Champions League, do you not think?
I do agree with that.
I wonder why it's not going well from him, Italy, though. Sure, that's a worry.
I think, obviously, they brought in Thuram as well from Nice in the summer. A bit of a bigger player, more box-to-box type player, and I think that they just generally prefer that the way that the old lady plays. So, I mean, don't get wrong, I still think he's a brilliant player.
It was a strange signing by Juventus. When he had such a good season at Aston Villa, why was that?
I think it was mainly down to PSL. Obviously, Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, Forest, Leicester, they were all meddling about with it. So there was that dodgy deals between, obviously, Villa and Everton, us and Newcastle. I mean, we didn't complain. We took Elliot Anderson. Speaking of Elliot Anderson, through 90 minutes, Elliot Anderson's got a 4.4 for progressive carries. I mean, Douglas Luiz is slightly better at 6.11, but I mean, 4.4 is still not bad. Dominguez is slightly a bit lower with a 3.2, but I mean, you can't overstate that man has been a brilliant revelation in our midfield since signing from Newcastle.
But how would you feel like this? How would it make Sangare feel? He's meant to be your number 6, and if Douglas Luiz comes in, how would that? You'll play them together, or would you not?
I've always loved Sangare. I've been one of Sangare's biggest fans. I think the first year he was plagued he had malaria. Obviously, he went and played the African Cup of Nations. But I mean, at the start of the season, when he started playing, just before he did his muscle injury, which is still ongoing now, he was showing glimpses of being a great player. I think Sangare, we have signed on a permanent. I don't know about Douglas Luiz, whether it would be a loan or whether, obviously, Juventus would want to sell him straight away. But I think put them both together, you're looking at a great number 6 partnership there.
Do you not think about a swap deal?
What, Douglas Luiz for someone?
Sangare?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't think they start together.
I think they could. I think if you change the way that we played, potentially.
You need 2 defensive midfielders, and you need you consider Yates as a defensive midfielder. You consider Dominguez as more defensive. Danilo is registered as a defensive midfielder. Do you really need that many defensive midfielders?
And Forest have been the second best attacking team in the league so far. So, will 2 defensive midfielders batter that down?
Well, I mean, a centre back that can play balls over the top. Do we really need defensive midfielders?
I would say yes. I mean, you look at it right now. Obviously, Elliot Anderson has had his injury problems. He's still got an ongoing ankle injury, which kept him out of a few games at the start of the season. At the same time, he can play in that Gibbs White role, so it kind of gives Gibbs White a bit more competition. Doesn't mean he has to play 90 minutes. Obviously, he's coming back from that injury against Chelsea. I mean, yes, Ryan Yates is very good. He's a club captain. Obviously, he came through the youth system. Danilo's broke his ankle at the start of the season. We don't know how he's going to be when he comes back. Will he be a bit more conscious when he's playing on his ankle? Dominguez can play up in bit. I mean, you look at Liverpool starting 11. He played on the right mid to start with. But I mean, you look at if you're looking at Forest at the moment, they currently average 29.5% possession per game. If you're Douglas Luiz and you had 23 goal contributions last season, he's going to want to play in a team where they've got a low block, and when we hit them on the counter attack, he can get up there and he can get those goals and assists. Personally, I think it'd be a good signing. Yes, I would prefer it to be a loan because of PSR, but I mean, you look at it like that, it's not a bad thing. And he wins 66.7% of his tackles that he commits to, which is not bad for a number 6 or a box-to-box.
I suppose so. I mean, good Brazilian links around Forest now. You're starting to build your own Brazilian team.
Yeah, all we need now to sign is Ronaldinho's son from, is it Burnley that he's gone to or something like that? I saw him in a few weeks in a Burnley shirt, but I'll take it at Forest. I mean, he's a very good player, and even if we get him on 75% of what he used to be at Villa, I think that's still a very class signing for Forest.